Hi everyone, it's Joe behind the camera here for Team Shift. Today we've got Carl. He's going to be showing his deck profile for post-Dune format. So do you want to get into it?
Yeah, so for this format I've decided to play Purrely. Just think the deck's really strong, and over the last 2 weekends I've managed to go 11-1 with it. The only loss was actually the mirror to someone that I've also been working on the deck with. But we'll start things off with a non-engine. So 3 Ash, still really strong, and there's quite a lot branded still, so really just do need Ash. It's also really good in the mirror for my friend and for Lily. 3 Droll, there's been a lot of Vanadium recently, and also again the mirror and Kashtira, and it's really good against all of them, apart from obviously if Kashtira shifty you. We have 3 Mourner. The reason this is in here instead of Imperm or Veiler, I wanted to be able to draw this off of Sleepy in my opponent's turn. Sort of treating this kind of like a runic deck where you just want to draw into your interrupts in the form of hand traps. And the reason that this is in here instead of Veiler is because I want to be able to do this in draw phase to hit lilies in the mirror. And then last of all we've got 3 Dark Roller. This is a Zeus deck, so you just want to be able to Dark Roller go in second, Zeus the board and then play on from there. So just the 12 non-engine. The reason that's so low is because it makes way for some other cards later in the deck. And then very, very quickly and very standard, 3 Purrely, 3 Lily. You wouldn't ever play any less than that. All 10 of the memories. Again, you wouldn't play any less than that. They're all E-Telly, you need all of them. All of them have extra effects that are really, really insane. And the deck can be quite punishing if you don't know what they do, because everything has 3 effects. 3 My Friend again, you wouldn't play any less. Now, here's a card that I also think you shouldn't play any less of, and that's the Street the Field spell. The reason this is really important is because everyone knows to hand trap the Lily, and this protects you against Imperm, Veiler, Mourner, and also going second into the Mirror or into Kashtira, meaning that your things can't be targeted is insane for it being able to play through boards. And being able to play 3 means that you can My Friend into it if you've just got Sleepy as your starter, so you can get to your draw 4 combo. And then lastly, 1 Yeep. You don't need to play more of this now. You've got access to it with the new Noir from Dune. And also don't play the other trap because I really don't think it's very good. You can't get to plump with it. So the only thing you're doing is adding a beauty to your board, which you very often don't need. And then the last 5 cards in the deck are 3 Brow, 1 Hedgehog and a Beast. Now, the reason I play these instead of Prosperity is that with Prosperity I often found that there was no specific card that I wanted to add to my hand. So often it would be reveal 6 and just add a memory, which honestly a lot of the cards can just draw into anyway with the high count of them. The other thing as well is it's very hard to banish 6 in this deck. So if you're only banishing 3, then it really just felt lackluster. Also, again, plays into draw, which I was really trying to avoid with this deck, and that's where these come in, which allow you to play in the draw phase, which you can do anyway, but these all give you net advantage when you discard for them, which is normally a negative for you. And then these 2 specifically help you play around Ash on your Lily, because these can chain block it. These can't, unfortunately, as they're mandatory. But yeah, being able to make sure that all of your memories are not negging you advantage is really, really strong. And having played with Prosperity and these, I would say hands down that these are better than Prosperity. Obviously the negative is into Arise Heart, you don't get the draws from them, but again, you'd just be discarding another random card anyway, so it's not as if they're actively hindering you.
Cool. Well, good. Do you want to look at the side deck or the extra deck?
We'll go extra deck first. But yeah, that was a solid 40. Again, mandatory things, 2 Noir, 2 Happiness, 2 Beauty. You only need 1 of this. It's only really useful for turn 1. Yeah, it does have the bounce 2 effect if you're going second or into a board after turn 1. But you can always put this back with the trap that this is set anyway. And then 1 Plump. Barely summon this anymore. It's strange how it's gone from sort of plump control to barely summoning this guy, but obviously with Delicious at 1 you don't have access to it as much. Still really good, still need to play it obviously, but yeah, you only need the 1 copy. Then we have 2 Zeus. You very often do actually go through the second one, so even without Prosperity I'd still play the second. Download obviously for these. And then leaves us space for 2 rank 1s. So the ones that I've gone for at the moment is Slacker Magician for going second. So what this does is once per turn comes from a battle, and if your opponent activates a card that targets this, you can touch material, negate the activation, destroy it. So what that means is that if you summon this into a Rise Heart, you get to swing into it for free. If they try to banish this, you negate and destroy the Arise, which is even better for you. And you just straight slap a Zeus on it and wipe the board before you play in main phase 2. And then the Ensemble Robins here, a lot of people are playing Princess Sprite at the moment, which is fine, but obviously in my deck I've got a lot more monsters, and especially with the hand traps as well, that it's much more of a gamble to go for Princess Sprite in my deck, so I decided to cut it down for Ensemble, which has been pretty good. Again, the only bad matchup for this is Kashtira. And then, last of all, the 2 links. Still people don't play around Anima. I don't understand it, but it works, so great. I'm glad that they don't. This also really combos well with using the Pretty effect to attach, because this gives you essentially 2 free things to do send off to attach to it. And then another card that you really should be playing is Azalea. Means that if you get There Can Be Only One, you can make one of them into an Anima. Summon out another one from deck, and then you can make the Azalea to send off the There Can Be Only One, and very often you'll have 3 spells, and then this can swing and clear out another monster as well. Really, really good for playing through interruptions.
Is there anything you think you might want to add if you have more space?
Sometimes it'd be nice to have a second card for trying to go second with, but very often the Slacker Magician's been fine. I don't think there's anything that would change in the extra. It would be nice to have Kiki Nagashi again, or maybe the other Lyrilisk, but they haven't come up as much as the other cards in the extra deck.
Cool, okay.
And then lastly, side deck. Got some more hand traps as well for when we go second. This one is almost always in here just for branded for the Gimmick Puppet Lock, but also comes up against Labyrinth. Haven't sided this in as much as I'd like, so maybe this could be something different. It could be Bestials, but at the same time, I don't think that they would have that much of an impact as being able to stop like the Puppet Lock when you need it to. Pancratops, this has been really, really good for me the whole time I've been playing it. It does kind of suck to draw into off of the discard engine if you do manage to do that, but the power that this gives you going second if you do have it is insane. I wouldn't change this. And then 2 talents. I didn't want to main these just because very often I'm trying to play in draw phase with a lot of the cards anyway, so it sort of contradicts my game plan for that. But going second into boards is really strong. 3 Cosmic. I'm not playing Duster or Lightning Storm or anything like that because I was worried about Anti-Spell coming back up with the popularity of Purrely and Kashtira as well, so I just wanted cards that I could still chain to that, and also for Eradicator as well, which is really, really popular at the moment. And then last couple of cards are 3 Impermanents. Again, I used to main this, but kept drawing this off of Sleepy in my opponent's turn, not being able to use it for another 2 turns, so cut this down for the Mourners, which have been really good. Still want to side these for decks that normal summon is really important to them, sort of like Vanadium, things like that, but I think I'd be cutting these for Eclipse going forward because it's really, really strong into Kashtira and Purrely, which are sort of the best 2 decks at the moment. Being able to Eclipse them when they go Yeep, or being able to Eclipse an Arise Heart would be a lot better than this would be. And then, last but not least, 3D Barrier. These were originally summon limits, but again, with the prevalence of Purrely, this just skips the turn in the mirror, which is just game winning. And against Vanadium, it also does the same thing. So I found that this has been better. Another thing as well is it plays better into things like Evenly, which is also pretty popular against Purrely. So yeah, that's the list.
Cool, brilliant. Any final thoughts of the deck about where it sits in the format, anything like that?
I think the deck's really, really strong. I think if it's not the best deck, it's the second best behind Kashtira. So I think after a ban list being kind to it, I think it will be the best deck. It's really, really fun to play, and looking forward to playing it more.
Bro, all right. Cheers, guys. Take care.
Cheers. Shout out to our sponsors as well. Thank you for them.
Have a look at the description down below. Click some links and go have a look at the site. Take care. Bye.
Cheers.